Welcome to another insightful episode of the RAF Podcast. Today, we'll explore the role of the Road Accident Fund in contributing to the National Road Safety Strategy, which aims to reduce road crash injuries and fatalities by 50% in 2030. We'll also dive into the significant challenges faced, progress made so far, and the critical partnerships that drive these efforts forward. Join us as we uncover how the RAF works towards reducing crashes, supporting victims, and promoting road safety across South Africa. Joining us in today's discussion is RAF Road Safety Manager, Mr. Thabo Makwela. Welcome to the Road Accident Fund podcast. It's so good to have you.
Thank you so much, Lesego. I'm so happy to be here. I've been waiting for this, I don't know for how long.
I'm glad you're here because, when we talk about road safety, you are one of our ambassadors for road safety at the fund. And I think there isn't anyone better to come and sit with us and really talk about the initiatives that we're doing at the fund when it comes to road safety. But before we get into that, I want to know more about your role as a road safety manager. What is your day-to-day? What is it that you do as a road safety manager?
Well, thank you for the compliment, but I think it's safe to say there's a whole lot more people at the RAF who are more knowledgeable than I am, and some of them are experts. They've been in the field more than I have. But my role at the RAF, it's purely simple. It's just to develop road safety programs that are aimed at minimizing accidents in the country. Look at the legislation, and in particular the National Road Traffic Act. Most of our programs that we conduct at the RAF are informed by the legislation or the changing trends in the legislation. So we come up with those programs. We also, I do a lot of stakeholder management. I manage a lot of our road safety stakeholders. So on a day-to-day or on a daily basis, there is a whole lot more, a whole lot of engagement with our stakeholders. But in a nutshell, I come up with road safety programs or implement road safety programs on behalf of the RAF to try and minimize the number of accidents that we're seeing in the country.
Yeah. So
it is exciting, I must say, this accidents that we see on a daily basis on the country. There's a new data that's coming in on a daily basis. Our stage team analyzes that data, brings it to us, and then we look at what have they identified as the hazard, and based on what we see, we now have to come up with programs that would address that particular challenge. But we also have to think, be proactive, and then come up with programs that would prevent certain accidents from happening. So it is exciting. It's an exciting space, especially for a country like ours where we're seeing thousands and thousands of accidents on an annual basis. So yeah, that's what I do at the RAF.
Is there a program, over the years that you have done that has stood out for you, not only in what you have done, but in the impact it has had?
There is quite a few. Some were proactive, and we do not have results to show the work that we did in terms of reduction of accidents. And some, there was a reduction. One of the programs that we're currently conducting or implementing is what we call low infrastructural interventions, where we're trying to prevent accidents from taking place, in particular, or in certain areas. I'll give you an example. Back in 2016-17, we implemented a project at the Golden Highway. The Golden Highway was historically known as as a high accident area. It was a highway. A lot of people use that way, and a lot of people are still using that particular highway. But mainly because of the economic boom or economic development of our country, we saw development on both sides of the highway, where people went and built houses. Our government went and built RDP houses for our communities just on both sides of the highway, and those shopping malls and all those things. Yeah. And on one of my engagements with the Gauteng Department of Transport, we realized that on an annual basis there's about just over 100 people that are dying because of crossing the road. They were knocked down by vehicles and all those things. Then we sat down with the department and then we said, you know what, we want to come up with an intervention that would prevent accidents or minimize pedestrian fatalities on this particular road. So fortunately, we've got a strong leadership that approved our request to go and implement that infrastructural intervention. We did some interventions jointly with the department, and since that day, our statistics have reduced from over 100 to below 10 on an annual basis. So we have made a dent as far as accidents are concerned. Yeah, and one of the programs that I enjoyed or that stood out for me is the driver wellness program that I'm sure you're aware of.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been running around all over the country. Going to bus depots, taxi ranks, and we did truck depots as well, where we were testing our drivers to see if they can see clearly, to see if they can, or they're still healthy and all those things. And what I liked about it is that in some areas, you test a driver, he doesn't see, he gets his spectacles on the spot. They go for their health screenings, and you find that they're diabetic or their sugar level is very high, or they've got hypertension. And some immediately after being issued with a referral letter to a clinic or to a doctor, they would go on the spot to a clinic and get medication and come back hours later to show us that, guys, thank you very much. This is my medication. I'm going to start taking care of myself from now. So that for me was exciting to see that we're making an impact in the lives of these drivers that we're trying to assist. There's other programs as well. We also did, that was exciting for me, the Motorcyclist. I think over a period of 5-6 years, we've been doing training for this road user grouping, the bikers. And the excitement that we saw from the delivery bikers as well, in terms of getting the free training that was provided by the Road Accident Fund, it was huge. So it was exciting. It was one of the exciting programs that we conducted as the RAF.
What are the challenges that you would say you face in your profession, in working with stakeholders, in working in different communities when you have to implement some of these programs? What are some of the things that you feel like sometimes could be a stumbling block when you try to implement these initiatives?
Yeah, so before I can even talk about the challenges that we're facing as the RAF in terms of the stakeholders or any other obstacle in terms of implementing our programs, I think it's important to mention that we're a country with beautiful leadership. There is a political will to fight accidents in the country.
Yes.
You go to any province, you talk to the office of the MEC for community safety in a province, you will see that there is a political will as far as reduction or reducing or rather preventing accidents is concerned. The challenge that we're facing that I am seeing is that we're doing things in silos. If you've realized, most of the programs that we implement as the RAF, we try as much as we can to invite or to work together jointly with the provincial department, with the municipalities as well, mainly because of we believe together we can do more, together we can achieve a lot, and together we can be able to win this fight against the program. So when I say working in silos, you'd find that RF is in Mpumalanga doing this at a mall, somebody's doing that, somebody's doing that. Kanti, if we can join hands and we jointly implement the whatever program that we want to implement, we will make a dent. And give an example. For example, in May, the whole world is talking about child safety. But you would find that in South Africa, it's only the RAF and maybe the Western Cape province or Limpopo, they're doing programs related to child safety. If we can all join hands and say, during this month, just like when we enter August every single year, we know you don't touch a woman.
Yes, it's Women's Month.
I think we should also have a slogan that says, you injure a child in a car accident during the month of May, or Tinti Bogos or Tinti whatever, I don't know. I don't have a better word for that. But we need to have some joint efforts during those particular months. November, we're talking World Remembrance, Day of World Remembrance, where we remember people who have passed away as a result of accidents. The whole world is talking about it. South Africa, we join hands. We do programs related to remembering our loved ones. Why can't we do the same during other months? So if we can coordinate joint efforts, trust me, we would have a huge impact.
A bigger impact.
Huge impact. If they could be like in other countries like Australia, I remember we went to Australia to go and do a road safety course many years ago. There is a day in Australia where they call in Melbourne, they call it a car-free day in town. There is no car allowed in town. People are walking, they take a bus and then a tram, then they get off in town, then they walk to town. On that particular day, there is no accident that's taking place or that will be recorded in Australia. Joint efforts from the Australian government and other role players, entities as well. So we could do the same. We could learn from those countries as well. So we just need to sort of coordinate.
Yeah, and be more cohesive in our efforts.
On an international or rather on a regional level, I see a beauty in terms of collaborations. I see beauty in terms of coordinations. I see beauty in terms of harmonization of legislation as well. So we're working very jointly with Botswana, Namibia, Swaziland, Mozambique, Lesotho as well. We're trying as much as we can to harmonize law relating to transportation so that when somebody transport goods from South Africa to Namibia, they don't become an illegal driver because of the age difference. Currently in Namibia, you need to be the age of 25 to be allowed to drive a truck. South Africa, we're saying, is 23. So when you get to Namibia, you now become an illegal driver. So we're harmonizing those legislation, we're harmonizing those laws so that we can have the same laws regulating the same driver. We can have the same standards, providing the same or regulating the very same driver that we all employ or we all rely on in terms of the trade agreements that we have amongst our countries. So the challenges is just not working together, no coordinated efforts.
So this is not just in the country. This is, with our neighboring countries to collaborate more on these initiatives.
Yes, but locally, I would love to see more coordinated efforts in that fashion. Trust me, we will not be spending the amount of money that we're spending. I mean, we're printing the very same pamphlet that is being printed by the Department of Transport in Limpopo. Department of Transport or Community Safety in Mpumalanga has printed the very same pamphlet that we are taking as the RAF to the very same province. So because
we should have one message.
One messaging. There is a time when the Minister of Transport would say, this month, nobody's issuing out communication. We're all going to issue out the same message to the same or to our listeners in the country. And it would happen normally during the month of October, during the October Transport Month, where we see the Office of the Minister standing up and saying, let's all share the same message to our public.
We've looked at the challenges. What are we doing, as road safety in this month that we want to the message that we want to share, the impact that we want to give, or the initiatives that we want to conduct as the Road Accident Fund?
As the area of this month, we've got so many programs lined up for this particular month, especially with a huge focus on the motorists, or rather on the drivers. We're doing a lot of driver training, especially within the commercial space or the public transport space. That's where we're seeing a lot of challenges, mainly because of if one bus driver who's transporting or taxi driver who's transporting 16 people per trip happens to be involved in an accident, the possibility that a lot of people can die are very, very high. So we want to skill all these drivers with defensive driving skills so that they can be able to minimize or to avoid being involved in an accident. if we're talking about a bus driver, we're saying a bus driver, each bus transport about 64 people seated and about 10 or 15 people standing, which is a standard in the country. If that bus driver is equipped with safe driving skills, it then means if he does 10 trips a day, we are able to save about 640 lives on that particular day. Multiply that by 10, 15,000 bus drivers in the country. You will see that through this training, we can save thousands and thousands of people just by providing skills or information to these particular drivers. But you've seen, we've been doing as the organization as well, a lot of media partnerships or partnerships throughout the country.
Yes.
We've been going up and down in partnership with a lot of radio stations. And the reason why we're doing that is that although we are so much active running around text trains and all those things, we do have those road users who are sitting at home that we are not able to reach. So through these partnerships that we are conducting, we are able to reach thousands and thousands of people. We are confident that they're also getting the message. So we're trying left, right, center, and back and forth to try as much as we can to reach thousands and thousands of people, and that we are not able to reach, to physically engage, for a lack of a better word. So over and above that, we've got other programs that we do in support of our stakeholders. We, as I've mentioned, we work a lot with other stakeholders, your other entities of transport, your provinces as well. So where there is a request for partnerships, we go and support the programs as well. We've started with our Driver of the Year competition, where we will be tackling a lot of scholar transport drivers.
Oh, I wanted to enter.
You wanted to enter?
Yes.
Okay, let's go in then. A couple of months back, you've seen on the news, we've seen a spike or an increase in the number of vehicles or number of accidents involving scholar transport drivers. And unfortunately, we've lost hundreds and hundreds of kids, especially in Gauteng, Limpopo, and Mpumalanga. That's where we've realized a huge problem. So in response to that, we decided, we need to have a program that will come up or that will make a dent as far as prevention or minimizing of accidents involving this road user group is concerned. Now, how do we then make a dent? Let's have a program that will entice them, that will make sure or force them to change their driving behavior by having a competition. So the competition that we're running has got several elements. The first element is the driver workshop that we're doing for the commercial drivers, the bus drivers as well.
Okay.
And then after that,
what do you mean by commercial drivers?
Okay, we've got separate driver training that we do. We've got the one that we do for the normal public transport drivers, your truck drivers, LDV drivers, your taxi drivers, and truck drivers as well.
Okay.
Then we've got a separate training that we do for scholar transport drivers.
Okay.
So for these scholar transport drivers, we've selecting 300 drivers per province.
Okay,
that's a lot. It's a lot. In some provinces, we get a lot. So we've agreed internally to accommodate up to 3,000 drivers nationally.
Okay.
So we're doing 300 drivers per province. And the first phase of this competition is for them to attend a driver workshop. After attending the driver workshop, we'll then do the second phase, which is the first aid training. Why are we doing this first aid training? During an accident, while the driver is waiting for medical care, there might be somebody who might need to, who might not be able to breathe. And if you train this taxi driver on how to do this, what do you call
CPR?
How to do the CPR. They might be able to resuscitate that person while still waiting for the medical response.
And then those medical aid kits are also maybe provided for them as well?
No, not this through this program, but it's something that we were talking about depending on the cost of the budget.
Okay.
If the budget permits, yes, we will also try as much as we can to...
The first aid.
The first aid kit. And then they're going to do firefighting training.
Okay.
A lot of, some of the accidents that we're seeing in the country, you find that there is, or the vehicle, some vehicle might spike some fire because of the impact and the fuel that would be leaking. So to avoid that, should there be a fire that would start during that accident, if a taxi driver is trained to contain a fire or to stop that fire, he will be able to save the lives of the people that are trapped in that particular vehicle. So we believe if we train him, we will be able to save the lives of these young kids that they are transporting. The fourth training that they will get, it's very comprehensive.
So now with each, sorry to catch you, with each phase, is there where you cut, or it's the same amount of people getting the same training?
Same amount of people.
Okay.
The same people that are attending our driver training are the same people that are going to receive all these trainings. The last training they will get is what we call a telematic device training. Why are we doing the telematic device training? I said we're doing a competition. And because of it's a competition, we are going to install a telematic device in their vehicles. It's sort of like a tracker, but it assists us as the RAF and the provinces to monitor the driving behavior of these drivers. The only way to see who's being who has improved in terms of his driving
is through the
telematic device.
Okay.
It will tell us how he accelerated, tell us how he stopped, tell us the amount of time he uses his cell phone, as in when he's driving. So we will have 10 monthly winners on a monthly basis per province, which will be awarded with monthly prizes. We will have quarterly winners per province, which will also be awarded with prizes. And at the end of 12 months, the drivers, let me put it this way, after the installation of the device, the drivers will be driving for about 12 months. So at the end of the 12 months, we will have a national winner, and then we'll have 4 runner-ups who are also winning very big prizes from the RAF. So, for example, the overall winner will get a Toyota Quantum from the Road Accident Fund. So
what if they're not a taxi driver, or it doesn't matter?
We're dealing with taxi drivers. We're dealing with school transport drivers. Some of them,
because I get some of them drive those smaller
things.
Vehicles.
I'm sure they want to have, but currently our focus is on minibus drivers. We exclude for a reason these ones that are driving private vehicles. So we only focusing on minibus drivers. So the first runner-up will win a Toyota Quantum, and the other ones will win cash prizes from the RAF. So we're hoping that by the end of the 12 months, if one is looking at this carrot, from now, which you will win at the end of the 12 months period, trust me, by the end of the program, how they drive would have changed. The driving behavior would have changed, mainly because there is a bigger prize to be won. So we're hoping that through this program, we will make a dent as far as this road user grouping is concerned, or this scholar transport drivers is concerned.
You spoke a little bit about, the media partnerships, one of the newest initiatives that we started doing at the Road Accident Fund. And I actually want us to really expand on the purpose of these media partnerships, because people are saying that we are playing music at bus stops, and they don't understand why we are playing music at bus stops, and, there are festival partnerships happening. And they're not understanding the purpose of this, and they don't. And I also find that people, don't understand that road safety education precedes the remedy that the Road Accident Fund provides. So let's talk about these media partnerships. What is their purpose? What purpose do they serve, and what impact do they have?
I get that question a lot from a lot of people, and I always give them the same answer. The RAF, we are opportunists. Where there is thousands and thousands of people, that's where we want to see ourselves. Where there is an opportunity for us to engage with thousands of people or millions of people, that's where we want to see ourselves. So we do these media partnerships mainly because of the amount of people that they bring us. For example, there's about 26 million listeners on radio every single week. I mean, who would not want that kind of an opportunity
to reach that many people?
To reach that many people. So it's sort of a fertile ground for the RAF to talk to these people that we are not able to physically reach.
Yes.
So these media houses that we're engaging with or that we're partnering with, they grant us that opportunity, and we grabbed it with both hands. Hence, I said we are opportunists. Where there is an opportunity to meet these many people, we are them. But over and above the ones that we reach out on the airwaves, there's thousands more that we reach at these festivals that we're seeing, that we go into in partnerships with these media houses, where we get invitation to come and brand and promote our services. We go to. The truth is, South Africa is regarded as one of the countries with the highest rate of drinking level, for lack of a better word. So whether people, whether we like it or not, people are still going to drink.
Yeah.
So we, as the Road Accident Fund, we go there to encourage people to say, you know what, we've got no problem with you drinking. Go to your social gatherings, go and have fun. But as you do so, get yourself a designated driver that will transport you to and from that particular place, as and when you having your
a nice time. You're
exactly,
out with
your
your
nice
friends.
time.
You're at a festival.
Whatever it is that you take to make you high or to get you to that highest level. I don't know what it is
I
they
don't
drink.
recommend people getting high on
so
anything.
We're saying,
but we're saying be safe.
Be safe. Be
Yes.
safe. That's what we're preaching. We don't want our listeners, we don't want our communities to sort of experience the pain of having now to lose one leg, or having to make use of a wheelchair and all those things. We partnered with one organization many years ago called Quad Para. They used to say to the people, or preach a message, buckle up, we don't want new members. So they encourage people to buckle up or to make use of a designated driver as well. So we're preaching that message.
Yes.
And we're saying your trip shouldn't end with RIP. We want you to be safe. We want you to go to Limpopo, to your religious gathering and come back. We want you to go to Durban to a festival and come back. We want you to go to Maputo and come back in one piece. Because of their loved ones that you left at home, that would want you to come back in one piece. You've left your kids, you've left your wife, you've left your husband, you've left your family or your brothers and sisters, and they would want to be happy to see you back in one piece. So that's the messages that we're preaching out there, and when we go into to festivals. But the main reason why we're doing this is the number of people that we are able to reach. I think if you look in the country, I haven't seen any other entity or any other stakeholder doing this much activity with so many people like we're doing as the
and literally on the ground. I want to talk a bit more about the Road Accident Fund, specifically their contribution to the national goal of reducing road accidents in South Africa.
Yeah, look, South Africa as a whole, it's a signatory to the United Nations Decade of Action, which some or required countries to commit themselves to reducing their fatalities by 50% come the year 2030. And looking at the data, maybe from 2010, 11, 12, 13, we're talking about 40 fatalities per day in South Africa.
Oh, wow.
40 fatal accidents a day in South Africa. So we lost about 40 lives on a single basis.
Day.
We're reporting just over 14,000, or an average of 14,000 lives lost in South Africa on an annual basis. I looked at the data, I think, a couple of months ago. Over the past 3-4 years, we've been average between 11 and 12,000. So there is a slight reduction as far as accidents is concerned, and it is because of some of the efforts that we're conducting as the Road Accident Fund and the other entities of the Department of Transport. So we are actively playing a huge role as far as contributing to the reduction is concerned. I mean, we come up with programs that have an impact. You talk to any NGO, any non-profit organization that comes to the RAF, to the Road Safety Department, seeking funding to implement a road safety program. The ones that we entertain are the ones that have impact. Anything that doesn't have a direct impact, we normally don't talk to.
How do you judge that?
Let's say, for example, I'll talk about what I talked earlier at the Golden Highway, that there's school kids crossing the road on a daily basis and they're being knocked down by a vehicle. And we come and say, you know what, if we can install speed humps on both sides of them, or both ends of the school, we will force motorists who are approaching that particular school to reduce speed as and when they are approaching that particular school. And in that sense, we will be able to reduce the number of people, number of learners who are being knocked down by the speeding motor vehicles. So whatever forces a motorist to reduce speed when approaching a particular intersection will obviously automatically have a dent as far as, or an impact as far as accidents are concerned. So we are playing a huge role as far as the reduction or rather minimizing the number of accidents in the country is concerned.
And meeting that goal, that 2030 goal.
Yeah.
Do you have the numbers? Maybe because we said previously would it be about 40 accidents per day? What are we looking at now?
We're looking at about 34 people dying in South Africa on a daily basis. So the number is, like I said, has slightly dropped. And we're hoping, we're only left with about 6 years before we can report back to the United Nations as a country. I'm hoping and believing that through more efforts, we can take the number down maybe to about 29, 30. Somewhere they come 2030. But more and more work needs to be done. More and more work needs to be done. The beauty of it is that we've got a strong leadership that believes in road safety. We've got a strong leadership that's pro-road safety. So we have the support of our own executive management as far as road safety is concerned. And we've got the political will as a country. So at the RAF, like I said, the support that we're getting from our executive management enables us to conduct all these programs that we're doing. We very few, like as we were talking at the road safety unit, but the amount of work that we're doing. I mean, if I can tell you that through our driver training program, we train I think over 1,300 drivers on an annual basis. I think in the past 8, 9, 10 years, we've trained more than 18,000 drivers that we're doing. This year, or this financial year, come the end of the financial year, we've trained about just over 2,500 drivers that we're doing. Imagine if all the provinces were doing the driver training, which some are doing. Northwest, I know, is doing it. Limpopo, I know they're doing driver training as well. So if all the provinces were all doing driver training, and we train all these drivers, we equip them with safe driving skills, we will reduce the number of accidents. The efforts, the media partnerships that we're talking about, we're reaching thousands and thousands of people.
What are the most significant impacts of road crashes in South Africa?
The highest contributing factor, or the highest number of people that are dying in the country are pedestrians and passengers. And out of, when we look at the data as well, you find that the youth people between the age of 15 and 34, they are the ones who are dying. So these are the ones that we are targeting. So
that is the highest number, like in terms of age, 15 and 34.
15 and 34.
That is very young.
That is very, very young people. And some of them have just recently started working. They bought their first cars. And I'm sure you've seen videos all over the social media. Somebody just bought their vehicle and within...
they totaled the car.
Within a day, the car is... it's a write-off. Some, they write it off before it even gets out of the garage. So those are the people that we're trying to target, empower or to target with the program. So we're targeting the ones that are looking at starting a career in driving, especially truck driving. So we enrolling them through this learners driver program where they get their learners licenses. They get driver training, they get their driver's license, and they get their PDP. So we are currently in talks with the Road Freight Association to see if these ones that are looking at establishing or starting a career in driving, especially truck driving or bus driving, can we not enroll them into a body driving program that would sort of give them an opportunity to see the responsibilities that comes with being a truck driver, give them an opportunity to see the challenges that comes with being a truck driver, so that come the end of the 6 months body training period, at least we would have a driver who's converted. Unlike Thabo goes in to get his code foot, and next thing he's employed by JJ, Van Tonder Trucking, what, to go and deliver stuff in Durban. Next thing on the way, Thabo sleeps, kills about 20 people on the road, just like the accident that we saw in KZN in 2016, where 22 people died on the spot because of that one driver who fails to stop at a traffic light. So the program has got a few benefits. One, reduction of unemployment by providing these kids with a tool that would help them go look for work. But it also have a road safety benefit to the country by ensuring that all these drivers that are going to the trucking companies are properly trained and are properly licensed in terms of our own standards of getting a driver's license in South Africa. So yes, to go back to your question, the programs that we conduct have a huge impact on the reduction or prevention of accidents in the country.
What are the leading causes right now of these road accidents?
Number one, they categorize statistics. We look at several contributing factors. We've got the human factor, we've got the vehicle factor, and we've got the road and the environment. If you look at these three factors, the human factor contributes the highest, contributes about between 82 and 88%, the human factor. And you'd be followed by the vehicle factor, and followed by the road and the environment. And that on its own, it should say to you, as a listener or as a road user, that our government is doing enough in terms of making sure that we've got safer roads for us to travel on, safer vehicles. We've got industries that are regulating the vehicles or the types of vehicles that are coming into the country.
Are we involved? Sorry to cut you, Thabo.
Yeah.
Are we involved in any way in that? Because when you spoke about, the scholar transport driver program, and then when you spoke about the program for the taxi drivers and I think you mentioned the bus drivers, one thing that I noticed also is a cause for accidents is unroadworthy cars. Are we involved somehow, or are we involved in the education of that aspect?
The program itself, the Scholar Transport Drivers program, has an element where we're going to be checking or educating these drivers about the unroadworthiness of their vehicles. So we're going to be in partnership with the municipalities who would be coming to the training centers, looking not to enforce the law, but to educate our participants or drivers on what to look for on your vehicle, how to ensure that your vehicle is roadworthy, and they also will be doing it physically so that they can say to a driver, your vehicle is not roadworthy. If it comes in for a test, it will not pass. Go and fix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and your vehicle is not roadworthy. If you continue driving with it, you're going to kill our children. Go and fix the following 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to be doing that in partnership with the municipalities in all these provinces that we will be visiting.
Okay. Yeah. And then going back to what we were talking about, the causes for these crashes, you said this 80% is the human element.
The human element, yes. Yeah, human element. And the human error, the error that's caused by the human.
Yes.
It contributes the highest.
So that could be pedestrians, that could be the drivers, the cyclists.
Yes.
Yes.
You look at things like your pedestrians as well, your seat belts as well, a loss of
loss of control.
A loss of control. It's a human error. You've lost the control over a vehicle, and then your vehicle capsized. So that those contribute to the human factor. That is where the percentage is it's a bit high. There's a whole lot of elements that have been grouped together to form this human contributory factor. And you've got your vehicle factor. In the vehicle factor, the highest contributory factor would be your tires. Tires contribute the highest as well as far as accidents are concerned. Your tire blows and all those things.
So people don't check their tires.
People don't check their tires. People don't check their tires. People don't change their tires in time. People drive with illegal tires. People buy tires which have expired. People buy tires which have been rethreaded. That we find on the corners. Hence, we then decided to have a partnership with the South African Tire Manufacturers Association, where we were working around the country, training our traffic officers and also our motorists and road safety practitioners all over the country in terms of what is that we can do to educate our public to avoid making use of illegal tires. And talking about these tires, there's thousands and thousands of illegal tires that are coming into the country. Those tires are not meant for conditions in the country. Certain tires or certain rubbers made for the European market where it is extremely cold. So that tire it's
and
more beneficial in that particular. Exactly.
As well.
The roads are made differently. That tire is beneficial for that European market. You bring it into South Africa, it's extremely hot. It will not be able to resist the hot or the heat that comes from the traction and also the temperature. It won't last. It won't last. And also the speed rating on the tires. There is a tire that is made specifically for a car that can drive up to 160 kilometers an hour. There is a tire that is made to drive up to 330 kilometers an hour. So you drive a Mercedes C180 or C200 or BMW, then you go and buy your tire at a street corner there, and that tire, you don't even know the speed rating of that tire. You find that tire can only drive up to 120 kilometers an hour. You put it on your vehicle, you want to go and drive 180 or 200 kilometers an hour. It will kill you. It will kill you. That's why we're seeing a lot of tire blows. That particular tire has been used for more than 10 years. That particular tire is not fit to carry the load of your vehicle or the weight of your vehicle. It's not fit to drive the speed or the performance or to carry the performance of that particular vehicle. So when you buy a tire, go to a reputable dealer. Yes. They will advise you on the size and the type of the tire required by your vehicle. So those are some of the challenges that we're seeing. So in response to those challenges, that's part of the programs that we're doing as the Road Accident Fund. Yeah.
We spoke a little bit earlier on about some of, the youth-based projects that you do. And I want us to just delve a bit deeper into them, because I know that your department also does a lot of school safety initiatives. We've got youth dialogues, and many other different programs that aim to, educate school children, school learners, and also the youth about road safety. So can you tell me about some of them?
Yeah. I think it's important, Lisa, that we talk about that, because we've got several programs focusing on youth jointly with the schools as well. We've got Scholar Patrol program that we're doing all over the country, distributing in partnership with the provinces. We're distributing Scholar Patrol uniform. But also we've done this youth school activities. You would remember in the previous financial year.
Yes.
In fact, we're still implementing it even today. We went to several schools in 4 provinces that were selected mainly because of the high number of accidents in those particular provinces. Gauteng, KZN, Eastern Cape, and Limpopo. Those are the 4 countries contributing the highest in terms of accidents. So we went to about 20 schools in these 4 provinces. We did industrial theatres for the primary schools. We did activations for the high schools, and then we also went to special schools. And the schools, after doing those, we sort of requested those schools to be part of a competition where the primary schools and the special schools would draw for us challenges in their areas and come up with interventions. High schools will do essays and also come up with solutions. And those submissions were evaluated by road safety experts from our different provinces in the country. And we had winners. So from the special schools category, I want to speak in particular about this school in Limpopo, called Fulefelo Special School. That school has got more than 1,000 learners attending that school, and it's a special school mainly because of the kids that are attending there. They are not on the same mental level as you and I. They are sort of mentally challenged learners. So, and the school is situated right next to the R540 Punda Maria Road. I think it's that road is owned by Sandral. So, some of the challenges they are facing is the speeding vehicles on that particular road. So, as part of our contribution to try and minimize, we've got the youth program that we're implementing. And as part of the implementation, we're conducting a program that we call Adult Assisted Crossing. So we've got 4 youth or 12 youth in that particular area, meaning 3 schools. One of the schools is this Fulefelo Special School. They are assisting our learners to cross the road because of transport drops them on the other side of the road. So they come in hand in terms of stopping vehicles and allowing the kids to cross. The beauty of it is that the department in the district of the Department of Transport in that particular area allowed us or responded positively to a request to provide training to this youth. So they received training and they worked with them for a period of 3 weeks to ensure that they properly they are properly trained to stop vehicles and to allow kids to cross as and when they go to school.
So these are young people.
These are young people
that have been selected to actually assist these learners.
Yes. They were also part of the program that we did because of after the engagements with the schools, we had engagements or road safety dialogues with out of youth within those schools or at areas closer to those schools. So they are now part of this program. They'll be implementing this. They will be implementing for us this program for the next 6 months. So it's a beautiful program, and in response to some of the requests from the school principal, he mentioned things like he needs speed calming measures there to protect his children and all those things. We had a long meeting, myself and our partners and our PR and media team. We had a meeting with Sandal to say to them, can you assist in terms of coming up with speed calming measures so we can protect the lives of these young ones. Sandal agreed and said, you know what, it's fine. The road is actually part of the plans for improvement. We are going to be constructing collaboration.
Yes.
They will engage us in terms of what measures to put on the new road. But currently, they will submit for approval for them to do temporary speed calming measures while we're still waiting for the construction of the new road. So that's one of the beautiful programs that we're doing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then there's the anything youth-related programs that you're still running as well?
Yeah, we've got several programs related to youth that we're doing as well. We've got youth that have complained about vegetation as a stumbling block or as a deterrent in terms of vision for our drivers. So they requested, you know what, if this vegetation is cut and taken care of, the number of accidents that we're seeing on this particular road will be minimized or will be prevented. So we've sort of supported those particular youth. We bought them uniform, we bought them equipment for them to be able to cut those vegetation in 2 provinces, KZN and Limpopo. Want them to cut the vegetation so that visibility is much clearer as and when people are driving to and from those different directions. So there's a whole lot. We've got about 13 youth groups that we're supporting financially as the Road Accident Fund to conduct these road safety programs, many road safety programs that we're talking about.
So, Thabo, it's been such an educational session with you, and I'm really hoping that it will make people better understand that we are more than just. You know what I mean? The role is so much bigger than just the compensation and rehabilitation of road accident victims, and the importance of road safety and the measures the measures, the lengths you guys are going to ensure, a safety on our roads, and education that you are doing with the youth, with older people, with drivers. It's been a great learning experience for me as well, and hopefully for the audience. So I want to know a bit more about your future plans.
Look, we've got a whole lot more future plans. We right now looking or doing a research with one other organization that we've partnered with. Our studies team is looking at the causes of what actually causes fatalities relating to passengers in the vehicles.
Okay.
So they are currently conducting a research, and based on that, the findings that they would bring to us, we are going to develop programs in response to that particular Antonio. So we've mentioned that pedestrians and passengers contribute the highest in terms of fatalities. So we want to understand what is it that passengers are doing inside vehicles to lead to fatalities. So we want to tackle that and see if we cannot make a dent in that. And we also have future plans of working together with our PSL soccer teams. We've seen in the past we've lost so many soccer players because of accidents, and we want to see if we cannot make a dent in that field. So we're still in the process of doing a bit of research on what kind of training can we provide to this celebrities and role models of our young ones, so that we can minimize accidents involving to that. And one other thing that we're doing, Lesego, it's our studies team is also looking at ways to improving the manner in which the data is collected. Currently, we're collecting through the accident report form, so they're trying to see if there is where they can contribute or reduce and minimize there and there by providing also an electronic format of collecting data, so that nothing can be missed, so that all the data that must be collected will be collected. So they are in talks with different stakeholders. They are doing their own research in terms of what is it, or is there anywhere we can improve in terms of collecting that data. Remember, I said most of our programs are data driven. So with any improvement in data, or it will automatically say we have a better way of addressing the challenges that we are facing as a country. So yeah, but there is a whole lot more. I think we need about 5-6 hours, you and I, to talk about.
No, there's a whole lot more to come, and hopefully this won't be the last time that you join us. Any parting words to road users of South Africa?
Road users, people are dying. People are dying. Please, those who are going to festivals, like I was saying, or like we were talking, make use of the e-hailing services, make use of a dedicated driver. You look at the Western Cape, at night, Friday night, Saturday night, 90% of the people that are going out to have fun, they make use of the e-hailing services or dedicated drivers. Do yourself a favor as well, do that. Most important thing is that your trip shouldn't end with RIP. We don't want any rest in peace.
Yes.
From now until December, no rest in peace amongst us.
Especially as we enter the festive season.
We enter in the festive seasons.
Yes.
No rest in peace. From me and from you, Lesego.
Yes.
No rest in peace.
No rest in peace, guys. You heard it from Mr. Makwela himself. Your trip shouldn't end with RIP. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Lesego.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us in today's discussion on road safety and the initiatives led by the Road Accident Fund. Remember, reducing road crashes and saving lives is a shared responsibility, and we all have a role to play, whether as drivers, pedestrians, or policymakers. Stay tuned for more episodes where we continue to bring you important conversations and insights on road safety in South Africa. Together, let's make our roads safer for everyone. Until next time, drive safe and be responsible. Your trip shouldn't end with RIP.